Hey guys, it's my homestead education. It's been like 4 weeks, I guess, almost, since I posted anything. I've recorded a lot, I just haven't had time to edit. So actually, by the time you see this, it's probably going to be a couple of days. I'm going to try to post a whole bunch of stuff here, and you're going to see me prepping for like a cold front, and you're going to see, I don't even remember what the other stuff is, but right now it's gorgeous. Today is March 11th, and we're getting ready for spring. I mean, it's around the corner. We actually have here, I'll show you, we have our garlic coming up, and garlic is starting to come up everywhere. We're excited about that, and it's coming up all the way down there. We just we took this row here, I don't know if you all the way down on one side. We'll probably go ahead and do, oh, we did both sides, and we're planting sweet peas. They grow real good in the cold, and it's not real cold right now. It's almost 60 today, which is like really warm, and I think over the next couple of days it's supposed to get up to 66, and then the rain will come in and cool it off, but not too much, mid 50s, and then I think we're going to start going up. And it's north central Idaho, so you know, it's not unheard of to get a cold snap, you know, frost and whatnot at the end of May, even early June. Usually it's by the end of May we're done. But we are getting some interesting feedback from last year's garden. This is rosemary. Now, we did not have nearly as harsh a winter as we did last year, and I don't think this rosemary would have made it through another winter like last year. But we still had a lot of, you know, a fair amount of snow, and a lot of freezing temperatures. I think we had 5-6 weeks straight of sub-freezing temperatures. And we've had a lot of warm weather this year for winter. And this is last year's Swiss chard, and it's actually putting forth new shoots here and here, and we're cutting back all the old dead stuff, but we may not even have to replant Swiss chard. We don't need a ton of it, but we do like to eat it. It's really good for you. I think it's real high in iron. To me, it kind of sort of is just a giant spinach, but maybe I'm not prepping it right, or I'm picking it too late. I don't know. But you know, we found some onions that have popped up from last year's crops that didn't grow last year. Don't know why, but they're growing now. I have a plant over here. I think it's called chicory. We planted a row of it. It all came in, and the sheep had gotten in. The door was left open, and they ran in here and ate it all down, and it was gone. And right now we have one coming up again. They grow in like a loaf kind of thing, you know, kind of tall, and it'll grow up and be about that big around, about that tall. That, well, it's hard to see. I don't know, 12, 16 inches tall. And I've never eaten it. I don't know. I think you can make salads with it, and you might be able to cook with it. I try growing stuff I've never had before, especially up here. We have a lot of cold months compared to where I'm from in southeast Texas, and so, you know, we have to learn to adapt to a different kind of diet. We can grow tomatoes and peppers, and I think we can grow okra. We're going to try it this year, but it doesn't do well. Nobody here even knows what okra is. I mean, it's just a crying shame. They have no idea what I'm talking about. And we have friends that don't even try tomatoes or peppers really, because they can't do it. They can't grow it. We've had a lot of success with our tomatoes and peppers, but because of the cold springs and falls and dry, hot summers, we're kind of in a, I don't know. We gotta figure out what works best for our family, what we can store, what we like to eat, change what we like. You know, there's a lot of things we don't like that we may have to learn to like and enjoy. So anyhow, we are out today getting ready for spring. We planted some today. I know we planted peas. I think we're gonna scatter out some carrots, some beets, maybe some spinach. Going ahead and get all that going. And then this week I'll be in town. I'm gonna probably buy way too much seed. I always do. And I want to grow, you know, 20 acres worth. Yeah, you know, just a small amount of food. And of course I don't have time for it. I know that every time I go to buy it. And every year I end up buying way too much. And we save it, and the next year we use some of it, and then we buy new stuff. This is, if you recall, that lamb that I composted. I'm gonna actually have to dig this up and see what it looks like in there. Looks like it's composted down pretty good. And here's some of our other sheepies. Oh, they're doing good. It's getting dry. They're starting to clean up. We love having these sheep. We're getting ready to get some more sheep. We're praying. Some Katahdins. And I wanted to try to get some Icelandic. And we need to get a ram here soon so we can start breeding them. I've talked to people that breed them up here, and I've put off getting a ram. I was going to get one like 4 or 5 months ago, and I never did. And it's a good thing because it would just been another mouth to feed right now. But they're getting ready to be bred, and we're looking forward to seeing what these sheep will do for us. I'm excited. It is such a gorgeous day. It is absolutely gorgeous. I am, look at that. Look at that. Blue skies. There's not a white cloud anywhere to be seen. Absolutely gorgeous. I am looking to get a new camera here soon. And the one I'm hoping to get, we'll have to see. We just had, like, this week was very unexpected. We had a car, it'd been shaking and pulling to the right, and I thought, oh, I need to get an alignment done. Took it in to get an alignment. Turned out, no, the tread's coming completely undone on most of my, I think it was 2 of the tires. So I went ahead and bought a new set of tires, and it's for Subaru, so they weren't like super expensive, but it's money I wasn't expecting to spend. And the very next day, my wife calls. She drives to town to go run errands, and she said her car's pulling and trying to pull her into traffic. And so she ran by the shop, and they looked at it, and the calipers on the brake were frozen, locked up. So it was just grinding on the rotors and warping them, and wasn't working. Our brakes weren't working. And I tell you what, you get a big expedition and you have to get the brakes and the rotors and the calipers and all. It was almost $500. It's crazy. So I dropped a lot more money this week than I planned on it. I was hoping to drop money on my new camera so I can really, I mean, we have had elk across this river from us, 30 to 40 elk every day for weeks. I don't see them right now, but that doesn't mean they're not going to come out later on today. But you can't even see them on this camera. You might look and see a dot or two, and they're about 700-800 yards away. But with the new camera I'm going to get, I could zoom in and look at the gleam on their eye. I'm really hoping to be able to get that soon. So we'll see. You know, life is life. You get stuff thrown at you, and you got to just roll with the punches. So we're going to try to get that soon, and I look forward to getting that done. Man, the back side of this greenhouse is nasty. Look at this. It's just got, this is a giant, I think it's considered like Canadian thistle, or I forget what they call it. They get massive. And we got blackberry brush and just all kinds of stuff. And it's growing up through the greenhouse. So I got to come back here. This is going to be a chore and a half just to get this stuff. I couldn't even do a solar treatment where I just laid plastic down. I don't think I could even get that in. It'd just rip it all to shreds. So I'm gonna actually have to come in here with some heavy duty gloves, some shears, some shovels, and just start ripping this stuff out. This is nasty back here. Used to our garden, before we had the greenhouse, the garden was just the whole front yard. And it was good size. We did great. And I decided to put the greenhouse up and thought, you know, we can extend our growing season. And it's done well for us. This year it hadn't done much since we've had the top off. For last spring, a big windstorm came in, just ripped the whole top off, and it was about that time for summer anyway, and we take it off during the summer, so we just left it off. And now it's getting spring, and maybe we ought to put it back on, heat things up. We can get our tomatoes and our peppers going. Woohoo! Anyhow, I really appreciate you guys. Sorry it's taking so long. I've just been real busy with everything. But we have so many things coming. Still looking to get quail here soon, and maybe some turkeys, and our chickens are starting to lay, so that's a blessing. And my son's trying to talk me into geese. I don't know. We don't really have a good pond or water source for them, and I hate the kiddie pools because they just get filthy so fast. But right now we have sheep over here, and where the cows are, we're getting ready to get a dump bed trailer and tractor. We're going to rent them for 1 or 2 days, and we're going to bring it up, and the sheep are going to get moved out of here, and we're going to start, I don't know where yet, maybe down here, maybe up there, I don't know, but we're going to bring in, I bet there's 50, 60 yards at least of composting manure and hay. I mean, it's got to be 150 foot by 30 or 40 foot area where we feed the cows normally. And it's easily 1.5 foot deep throughout almost that entire section. So our goal is going to be to get as much of that out of there as we can. Bring it up here. I'm going to have to dump it in the back of the driveway, and then bring the tractor up here and bring it all around over here. And we're going to find an area somewhere over here where we want to try to start making the garden happen, and we're gonna pile it up real high and just let it compost this year. And next year we're gonna spread it out and start using it. And I bet it'll cover, good grief, if it's 150 by 30 or 40 foot and it's almost 1.5 foot deep, we could get it we could get it 6 inches deep and cover 150 foot by 90 feet. That's a big garden. That's a good size, you know. It's 1/3 of an acre. All right, guys. Well, we ended up getting, let's see, spinach, beets, carrots, and peas. And we got right here, got the bed somewhat cleaned out, looking good. We got this in the beets, and I just did a broadcast of carrot seed over here. Took extra seeds of everything we had left over and just threw it on top of what's going to be the potato beds. And what else did we get? Over here we have spinach in this little corner right here. And then over here we have the peas planted and ready to go. And we're excited. We really are. I love growing fresh food. I really do wish I could just snap my fingers and have myself an acre ready to plant. We've tried, you know, we have one of the real big rear tine walk along tillers, and we used it for a couple of years up here. We did it in the garden area here, and this was before we knew about the back to Eden method. And we used it over here on this hillside, which needs to be cleaned off right now. My boys like to build stuff, and they're always pulling stuff out and building and moving stuff around. I got to teach them a little bit better than that, but you know how they can be. Anyhow, we tried tilling this area, and they had cotter pins for the tines, and these are big tines. They don't break easy. But the cotter pins that hold the tines in place, they were just shearing off. I mean, just left and right. And I ended up going and finding brass bolts that were the same diameter as the cotter pins, and I bolted them in place, and it just sheared those off. I bet I went through, each year, gosh, 20, 25 bolts. The tines were fine. It never affected them, never bent them or anything. It's a big, I'm trying to remember the name of it, Husqvarna. But there's so much rock, you can't really till. And it's real steep. Even just getting back there to get a vehicle or a trailer with some covering is almost impossible. I'm going to have to dump it and either use a wheelbarrow and bring it over, or rent a tractor and bring it over. And if I'm going to rent a tractor, I want, I want 60 yards of material to bring back there if I'm renting a tractor. And 60 yards of material, it'd probably cover a nice big chunk of this area. It'd probably do pretty good. But don't know. This is a tough spot to try to do really big garden. Our front yard is, I forget what it is. The front fence kind of is a moon shape, it's not a straight line and then straight here. It kind of follows the driveway around. And I think the farthest between the house and this fence over here on the outside, I want to say is 35 feet, maybe 40 feet. And then the longest, which is over here, from here to over here, is, I don't remember, 70, 80? I don't think it's quite 80 feet. It's a good sized front yard, but it's not huge. And we're going to work real hard this year to rid the front area. Stuff's growing great. We've had so much manure and worm castings and wood chips that we've piled in here over the years that when the rain comes and it goes downhill outside, it grows fantastic weeds. I mean, the best weeds. So our goal this year, we're going to try to clean a lot of these weeds. Not a lot, all. We want all of the weeds cleaned out. We're going to try to I'm going to have to get axes and stuff to actually get some of the roots of the blackberry brush and the rose hips out, because they'll just take over an area. But we're going to really work hard on getting the outside all the way around the greenhouse cleaned up so we can grow stuff out there. Outside of the fence, I think we're going to try to plant there's probably room to plant about 8 trees along there. And we may go further and plant more, go all the way along the top of this driveway. And plant maybe some peach, cherry, apple, pear, plum. We love them all. And then in front of those, we're talking about, I want to see if hibiscus will grow up here. Hibiscus is one of those plants we grew real well in the South. My mother had some in our house, and they were just really pretty. And I remember her saying when I was a kid, oh yeah, you can make a tea from the flowers. And I thought, that sounds disgusting. We actually buy hibiscus tea. It's not super expensive, not super cheap either. But it is some of the best tasting tea. I love it. Almost has a raspberry flavor. It's bright red. And there's no red 40 in it. That's just nature's 40. So anyhow, we're thinking about seeing if we can get it to grow here. It may not. It may be a plant that you have to plant every year here. I don't know. I don't remember having to plant it every year with my mother's back home. But we got our garden started. Yay! It's spring. We can feel it. And I could have planted this out probably 3 weeks ago, even before we had that hard freeze, and we would have been fine. Stuff would already be sprouted right now. But been busy. I'm trying to garden and raise sheep and cows and turkeys and learn and do so much here, and trying to get an established homestead, if you want to call it that. I would love to be able to support myself fully just off the land. I'll give you another look around. It is gorgeous. It is beautiful here. There's some sky clouds way off there, but it has been just gorgeous. And we're supposed to be like this. Today is first day of the week, Sunday, so it's supposed to be like this till Tuesday night and Wednesday morning, and then it's going to cloud over, get us some rain, and then cool off like 5-10 degrees, and then warm back up. So I'm so glad you guys watched today. I hope I wasn't rambling on too much. We're excited about spring. It is in the air, and we're looking forward to what we can bring to the table and to you guys for content. We love you guys. Thanks for watching. Hope you have a great day. Please subscribe, follow, upvote, comment. Love to hear from you. And you guys have yourselves a wonderful day.